Beneath the glorious palaces of ancient Crete, deep within a maze where time stands still and the light of day never dares to enter, something waits, and the fury of a beast. Something born of desire and divine punishment. Something with the mind of a man. The bull was far too beautiful to destroy. Minos, in his pride, betrayed the god's will, keeping the creature for himself and offering a lesser beast in its place. Once, in the age of kings and gods, there lived a ruler named Minotaur, king of the island of Crete, desiring legitimacy over his rivals. Minos called upon the sea god Poseidon to send a sign that would prove his divine right to rule. The god, in his grandeur, sent forth a magnificent white bull from the ocean, otherworldly, a creature no mortal could mistake for ordinary. In return, Minos was to sacrifice the bull in Poseidon's name, but when the time came, the king faltered. This was a curse given form. Minos demanded 7 boys and 7 girls, sent into the labyrinth as sacrifice. Their names were not recorded, their voices never heard again. He could hear hearts beat through stone, smell fear like blood in the air. There was no need for mercy, he had none. For once inside, no one returned. Smash walls if enraged, run tirelessly through the corridors for days without rest. The gods do not forgive such arrogance lightly. Poseidon, humiliated by the insult, cast a terrible curse not on Minos himself, but on his wife, Queen Pasiphae. He infected her with a maddening obsession, a grotesque desire for the very bull her husband had spared. Under this divine affliction, Pasiphae sought the aid of the famed inventor Daedalus, not yet just a prince with courage sharper than any sword. When the time came again to send tribute, Theseus volunteered himself, not to die, but to face the beast and end the slaughter. The stone walls whispered ancient secrets. Every sound, his footsteps, his breath seemed to echo 100-fold. The deeper he went, the more the labyrinth seemed alive, like it watched him, twisted and delighted in his disorientation. Who constructed a hollow wooden cow in which he could hide herself? Thus, the queen and the bull, united, clever, patient. He used the tight corners of the maze, lured the beast into traps, struck and retreated, blow after blow, wound after wound, until at last, with one final thrust, the sword pierced deep. The battle was primal. Theseus dodged horns sharp enough to split stone, felt the earth shake with each stomp. He struck with steel, but it barely cut. The beast howled, lunged, crushed the very walls in its rage, of hubris, of lust, of curses passed down like inheritance. It never asked to be born, never sought blood. It was locked away, unloved, unfed, until madness became the only language it knew. From this unnatural union came a child, struck by his bravery or, perhaps, desperate to see the bloodshed end. She betrayed her father and gave Theseus a single tool, a thread, to trace his path through the labyrinth. But this was no child of man or god. It had the powerful body of a man, strong and towering, but the head of a bull, with sharp horns, red eyes, and a voice that roared like thunder trapped in stone. Minos again turned to Daedalus, who built one of the most legendary constructions in myth, the labyrinth. When we lock away our sins instead of healing them, when we build labyrinths not to protect the world, but to hide ourselves. This creature knew neither language nor love. It fed on instinct. It grew fast, strong, and wild, and the halls of the palace soon became too small to hold him. Fearing the creature, yet too ashamed to destroy it, a prison, a maze without end, walls upon walls of winding stone, turning back upon themselves like a serpent devouring its tail. Here, the Minotaur was hidden from the world, but within this place of eternal night, he was not alone. Each year, as part of a harsh tribute imposed on Athens after their defeat, inside those twisting corridors, he knew every turn, every echo. His strength was monstrous. He could shatter bones with a single blow. He did not age, as mortals did. He did not hunger for food, but for violence, fear, and flesh. In time, he became more myth than creature, a tale told to frighten children. But in Athens, where families wept every year, the pain was real, the cost unbearable. And then came Theseus. He was not a king. Arriving in Crete, he met Ariadne, daughter of Minos. Theseus descended into the maze, and the darkness swallowed him. Inside, the air was cold and damp. And then he heard it, a distant snort, a scraping hoof, The low growl of a nightmare awakened. From the blackness, the Minotaur charged, towering, bellowing, with fury burning in its blood. But Theseus was swift. The Minotaur collapsed, a final breath, long and low like a dying storm. The silence that followed was absolute. Theseus followed the thread back to the surface, to the world of light. The beast was gone. The tribute ended. But what of the monster? Was it truly evil, or merely born into it? The Minotaur was not a villain by choice. It was a consequence. And so, the tale remains passed from voice to voice, from age to age, because the Minotaur is more than a monster. It is a mirror, a reflection of what happens when we bury our shame instead of facing it. And the deeper we go into those winding paths, the more we risk becoming the very thing we fear.